Andrew Urquhart with you on the program today. Well, it is official. Not only has he's fled the coop and crossed the ditch, he's gone back to the country of his birth, but months later his furniture's turned up as well. Craig, welcome to the program today. Thanks for joining us.
Praise Jesus, mate. I have furniture now. I have knives and forks, and I have chairs to sit on. And if you wanted a comfortable seat in my house up until yesterday, you had to sit on a bed. That was it.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, it's all arrived, mate. I'm official now. I'm here.
It kind of reminds me of the, hey, another great Australian, the bands for King and Country. They're coming home as well. Actually, they've got the homecoming tour coming up.
Wow.
I think they might even be playing Brisbane. Get your tickets while you can, mate.
Oh, mate, I've got to get tickets for that. I love those guys. They're
Exactly.
awesome.
And they've got a song called "Burn the Ships," and that's kind of what you've done in terms of your New Zealand ministry, I suppose.
Mate, even better than that, I couldn't get my gear until Customs let it go. Do you know what was holding it up?
What?
My gumboots, mate, had Kiwi dirt on them.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
I said, look, burn them. Burn the gumboots. Just bring the stuff. So not only did I burn the ships, mate, I burned my gummies.
Burn the gummies. Gosh, they should rewrite that song accordingly. Hey, wanting to start off our chat today, a bit of a serious note, actually. Gosh, it's been 10 years since the disappearance of Flight 370 out of Malaysia. Of course, lots of lives lost and lots of theories about what exactly happened on board that plane. Bit of a breakthrough, though. The folk that found Amelia Earhart's plane, they may have found this one as well.
Well, they reckon they've got a new theory on Southern Indian Ocean as the place where the plane is. And as you say, mate, 10 years, it's hard to believe it's 10 years. And as you say, so many theories, so many ideas. They've looked in all different directions. Now there's an undersea crew who are going down into the Southern Indian Ocean and going to go down, and they believe they know where the plane is. And I think it would actually be good. I think it would provide a sense of relief for everybody if this plane gets found, because it's the most bizarre story. I mean, it's just weird that a plane goes missing like that. And, as you say, there were so many ideas and theories about what happened.
Yeah.
It would be nice, I think, for the relatives and people involved to know.
Oh, exactly.
That it happened.
Exactly. If you've lost a family member and it's a mystery, I suppose the closest that we've got to that here in New Zealand is Erebus. But we all know what happened with Erebus. Yes, it was tragic, and they, for some people, not able to recover the bodies, and that was terrible. But to not even know what happened on board and to not know where the wreckage was found, hopefully some breakthrough in that regard. Hey, some interesting things happening in your state, well, not your state of origin, but your state of occupation at the moment.
State of occupation,
in Queensland, they've got an interesting policy of school suspensions.
Yep.
Where apparently if some particularly robust student, I should say, is suspended, then that's in breach of their human rights.
That's it. So basically, the legal situation now is, as endorsed by the courts, is that expulsions or removals from school basically infringe the human rights of a child. So naughty children don't get removed. In fact, what they're describing it as is punitive free education. I've heard of free education. This is punitive free education. Now, when I went to school, Andrew, I went to Tasmania.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, to me, the whole education was punitive. I thought that was the point of it. I thought you went there with some sort of remedial thing you did. You must have been a bad kid because they sent you to school.
Exactly.
No, it's punitive free education now in Australia, and Queensland particularly. Now, we have a massive youth crime problem here, by the way.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. And basically, any day you go to your newspaper or watch the TV, you're going to hear about youth crime in Queensland because it's rampant.
Hey.
And it seems to me this is just a very, very odd thing that we can't remove kids from school who are badly behaved. And I understand we're in a zone, and this affects New Zealand, of course, too, because you've got a debate running about, what do you do about crime and penalties and prison and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And we do have this formula that says the more prison, more prison leads to more prison. So if you send kids to jail, they're likely to become career criminals sort of thing. But it's very difficult for schools, obviously for teachers as well. Pretty much the school system in Queensland, just about every teacher reports at some point being assaulted by a child or whatever. So it's really...
But hey, what have they got to lose at the moment, I suppose, with this new regulation? Hey, maybe it would be helpful if you didn't suspend the kids, they wouldn't be out in the communities committing crime. But honestly, thinking back to my high school days, suspension would have just been, what? I don't have to go to school now. Why didn't I think of this earlier? And now the state of Queensland says, "Oh no, you don't. Back to school you go, sunshine." That does seem like a punishment, honestly. Ironically.
Well, it probably is, and I mean, that what they're saying here too is, look, they're sick and tired of people medicalising the situation. So one of the things that they feel is being medicalised too much is something called oppositional defiant disorder.
What?
And I think I had oppositional defiant disorder when I went to school, but it remained undiagnosed, sadly.
I think they shortened it down to to 4 letters, BRAT syndrome.
Yeah.
And
that's true. But if you think oppositional defiant disorder spells odd.
Okay, it does. Yeah. Yeah, I was probably both of those things, in which case, Craig. Hey, something which you were talking about beforehand in the build-up to it, the Dunkley by-election, and this was a bit of a contentious one for a whole bunch of reasons. It seems that Labor held on, but only by the skin of their teeth, as it were.
Well, a few percentage points, and there was a turn toward the opposition, so they get a little bit of encouragement out of it. But the Labor Party held up its vote, and they lost about 3.8. There was a 3.8% swing against the Labor Party.
Yep.
So the Prime Minister probably has to wake up and realise people are hurting. People can't pay their mortgages. We're reading stories now about people that aren't eating because they're trying to get their kids fed and pay their mortgage. So there's a lot of stress on people, and the Prime Minister needs to wake up to it. And Dunkley was a kind of a wake-up call, but I don't think it was as much of a wake-up call yet as the opposition.
It would have been more of a wake-up call if they hadn't squeaked through, I think. Would that be
fair
enough?
If they lost the seat, it would have been curtains, I suspect, for the Prime Minister.
Hey,
it would have been panic.
Speaking of politics, and this is slightly broader, because, look, you're not our American correspondent, although we don't have an American correspondent currently, and I know you lived there for a while. How long were you in the States, Craig?
I've lived there twice. So I lived there the last time was 5 years, and the first time was about 2 or 3, and then I was in Canada for 6. Okay, so I've had a good bird's eye view on the place.
International man of mystery that you are. Of course, it was a Super Tuesday this week. And it looks like it's going to be the two old guys that nobody really wants either of them to be the president again. But it's the lesser of two evils, some people would say. But perhaps more surprising, and this is the reason that I'm talking to you about this, is because there's a report in the Australian media about why Christian evangelicals love Putin, that they seem to be pro-Russian. Right. I mean, as a evangelical who lived in the US for a while, please explain.
Well, the ABC here ran a story recently in their ethics area that they were quite worried about the fact that American evangelicals support Putin. I think really what they're worried about is the fact that American evangelicals support Trump. I think that's really the issue. Yep. And Putin becomes a convenient cover for the strong man that we just shouldn't have.
Yep.
But I agree with you. I suspect we've got two. What did you say? The lesser of two evils?
Yeah,
I was thinking
exactly.
It is two evils.
Yeah.
And you've got to pick your poison, I guess, between those two very elderly gentlemen, and neither of whom may end up doing a good job. Who knows? But it hasn't been great for the last few years in America with Biden, and maybe Trump's going to get another shot. I don't know.
Who knows,
but the ABC is clearly worried about it, and they're worried about the fact that I think they're worried about something called Christian nationalism. I think that they're in fear that white Christian, particularly men, are running around plotting the overthrow of nations and trying to enshrine theocracies in place. And myself, as a Christian, as a pastor, I just have never seen it. I've never seen that sort of desire on the part of Christians.
It does seem unusual, though, because, I mean, the Russians, well, within recent memory, they were the bad guys, and it was the Christian West against the communist, atheist Russian types. Having said that, though, the ideological lines are a bit blurrier than they were a few decades ago.
Yeah, because Putin presents himself as sort of a savior of the Orthodox Church in Russia. So he's defending Christian civilization, and there's a whole eschatological theme around, sort of an end times theme around Moscow being the new Rome and all this sort of stuff, the third Rome. And, look, Putin would only be doing that for ideological purposes of his own, to keep his own people quiet and happy. He is a very bad dude, and I don't think American evangelicals should support him. On the other hand, the author, a professor down at Ridley College here in Melbourne, Michael Bird, on the author's side, he's suggesting that the support, military support for Ukraine, etc., is just fine as well. And I'm not sure about that. I think you can have your cake and eat it too. You can not like Putin and maybe still think as a Christian it's bad about weapons going to Ukraine, and maybe we should be calling for a ceasefire rather than arming the Ukrainians.
Yeah, hey, complicated times indeed. And hey, like all things, Christians will have opinions on all sorts of things. Even
we'll have at least three.
Exactly, particularly when it's about politics happening in different parts of the world. Well, hey, Craig, always wonderful to chat with you on the program. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us.
God bless, mate. Take care.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.